There's a person. You must know. You must know.
Okay, hello. It's me, Daniel. How you guys doing? I'm here. It's time for my media appearance.
Well, we appreciate it, DC. Hey, talk to
I'm
me about,
here. It's Daniel. Hi, guys. What's up?
Daniel, talk to us about the matchup, a trilogy fight, like the mindset of a trilogy. Like, what are the potential, positives, potential negatives when you're that familiar with it with another opponent?
I did an essay today, and we put it on the weigh-in show, all about trilogies. If you watch it, it speaks to the mindset going into that third fight. It's the most nerve-wracking thing you've ever done. You're scared. You're wondering what could have changed. But the reality is, there are not many secrets left, right? Only small details will change what happened between fight 1, 2 to fight number 3. So, but I know both of these guys, very nervous, on edge, and now the mindset is shifting to tomorrow night. All the other stuff, the trash talk, the yelling, the screaming, they'll see each other this afternoon, and then all systems go to tomorrow.
Yeah. You kind of touched on it there, but how much can change in 6 months?
I'm burping because, listen, I'm burping because Larasenko and I just freaking, we shotgun beers on the back for the championship of our weigh-in show. So, the burp is just coming out. I feel like I need to vomit for the last 30 minutes.
Sounds like my kind of show right there. So how much can change in 6 months, right? You said, there's no secrets left, but especially this late in somebody's career, not that they're at the end of it, but they're developed as martial artists, right?
Well, here's the issue. For what I feel was the biggest problem for Conor, it feels like there should have been more time for him to go and address those leg kicks. I know that he's got a great team. They will get him prepared. But the only reason that happens, right? Conor doesn't generally fight southpaws, right? Not many of them are southpaws. So because Dustin's a southpaw, he can land those outside kicks. Generally, those kicks will be coming to the inside from a conventional fighter. 6 months to learn to check and defend those low leg kicks seems fast. If you're not going to doubt anybody, though, it's Conor McGregor. When he left, after he fought Habib's a wrestler, he completely wiped out Donald Cerrone, right? Before Habib, it was a long time since he had fought. Who did he fight before Habib? He didn't even lose. He fought Eddie Alvarez. He had won the second belt. So it was a long time between fights. When he left, those low leg kicks weren't even nearly as used as they are today, especially from guys from American Top Team. It's like their staple. So I believe that low leg kick is going to be difficult to change in such a short period of time.
Yeah. Realistically, it's a fun storyline to talk about, full arena, Las Vegas, T-Mobile. Does it factor into this fight? Because I wonder, because Conor seems to perform under bright lights like nobody else, but you've actually been in there. Is that just a media fun selling storyline, or does it really matter?
No, you're spot on. For a guy like Conor McGregor, this matters. And Dustin Poirier doesn't like it. You could see, even in his words, right? He said people throwing beer at you, saying crazy shit. He understands what's in front of him because every time he goes in front of a crowd, they're booing him. The last time he fought in front of a crowd, he fought guys like Max Holloway. He fought Khabib. But in those spots where he was the guy that was in foreign territory, where the crowd was completely on the opposite side, he didn't really do as well, right? Khabib in Abu Dhabi got finished. He fought Conor in Vegas. People loved him. Those moments where people are so stern in one side, he doesn't like it. When he fought Max Holloway, we were in Atlanta, right? It was like 50-50. In most places, it's 50-50, unless you fight those massive stars. And Dustin recognizes that. That's why he's like, I'd rather do this thing in the Apex or on Fight Island where there are no fans. Because you don't feel like, I've dealt with it. I dealt with it with Jones. It really sucks whenever you don't know what you did to make these people turn against you, and then you got to go out and fight this guy.
In fairness, you never really did anything. I don't know why people did.
Yeah,
it was
it's
weird.
crazy. It's crazy.
Lastly, Conor's future. Does it hang in the balance here? Because it's interesting, right? The guy's a superstar celebrity. I think people are going to show up to watch him fight no matter what he does. But do you feel like this is key to where he goes moving forward?
It's important competitively, right? But notice the difference, right? In some of these recent fights that we've had, I know on multiple occasions recently I've said, this is do or die. And I want to say that it's do or die in this situation, but then I was reminded very recently that it's not, because it's Conor McGregor. Even if he loses Saturday, he goes and fights another guy. He goes and fights Nate Diaz a third time. Say he wins a fight over a guy like RD or something, he's right back in the title picture, because he will hang around the title picture for as long as he's in this sport. One other big thing for Conor to really reel in this fight is the left hand. He believes in it so much that he goes all out when he throws it. But that's when Dustin is landing that counter right hook, right? So it's like there's a lot of little things that McGregor has to try to fix if he's going to win against an absolute dog in Dustin Poirier.
DC. In an interview with ESPN, Kavanagh said that in the sparring for the last fight with Dustin, Conor only ever did it in boxing gloves and with the headgear and stuff like that. For this one, it's only been MMA gloves. Can something that little in preparation make a difference in the fight?
Well, here's the thing. When we would use MMA gloves, we used them very rarely at AK. We had a tendency to hurt each other, first off, but you can't really punch hard. You're not trying to knock out your partners with small gloves. And so when guys would use them, we're like, oh, well, you're not training hard. Not the case. Max Holloway said he doesn't even spar anymore, which is absurd. So I think with the way the sport's evolving, you can train in that way and still feel prepared. I think he'll be more prepared for a mixed martial arts fight opposed to what he felt going into the second fight.
And speaking of hurting each other at the gym, did you try and set up a fight between Tai Tuivasa and Justin Willis?
Oh, no. Tai Tuivasa came to the gym. He reached out. Justin Willis had gone to AKA, you know, so, ATT. So, listen, man, as the world goes, the wheel turns. You know, one guy leaves, we just get another one. It never stands still, you know. So I thought those guys were going to fight each other. It was Justin wanted to fight Tai, and Tai wanted to fight Justin, but Justin isn't in the UFC anymore, so I don't know when or if it'll happen.
Yeah, it's because Tai said that you were trying to hook something up at the gym when you first joined.
Well, just like in the sense that if you guys hate each other so much, then we're here, right? We got boxing gloves, we got headgear, we can protect you as much as we can. Because for me, if I had a problem with somebody anywhere, I'm like, hey, you want to come to AKA? We can handle it, you know? That's what people misinterpret. And not only with me, but a lot of these fighters. I can speak with 100% certainty that Dustin Poirier, yesterday at the press conference, you know how those guys were getting at each other? Mm-hmm. Dustin would fight Conor at that press conference, or in the street, basketball court, your local park, wherever. He's from where I'm from. I know what his mindset is. Conor will fight him anywhere. Khabib Nurmagomedov will fight you anywhere. So people need to be very careful in the way you approach these fighters, the real ones, because it doesn't matter. So when Justin and Tai wanted to get at each other, hey, we'll protect you where we can. We'll put elbow pads. You can even elbow each other. Put some elbow pads on you so you don't get cut, and go fight.
How do you think about Tai in Greg Hardy?
I like Tai. He's a good guy, man. Hey, he's crazy as all can be. Tell you that much. He's fun. Tai Tuivasa's out of his mind. He's a fun guy. I like him. I consider him a friend. He's got a tough fight in Greg Hardy. When he came to AKA, he was doing wrestling, right? Trying to work on that aspect of his game. And remember when Tai came to AKA, he was on a losing streak. He's won 2 in a row now, and he hasn't been training with us. Let's not make more mistake about it. Back with his team. When he came, just that change-up refreshed him. And now he's back on the run, but he's got a tough fight. And some of the lessons that he learned in that gym may be useful in a fight against Greg Hardy. I can't really help him or speak to it because I'm working, but it's a tough fight. And Greg is A-plus athlete, massive. I mean, dude was the last guy to weigh in. And now he has a great training camp around him. He's working with Rashad full-time, individually. So he's Rashad's project. Let's see how it looks tomorrow.
Last thing for me, how was Kevin Holland's wrestling training going?
So Kevin Holland's wrestling training was going great, right? He came a couple times, worked. And then Edmund Shabazian came to AKA, and Kevin's like, I want to fight everybody. So if Shabazian's there, I can't go, DC. So it's more like, you know, what did they call what we were doing last year in the pandemic, where you would meet people?
Oh, social distancing?
Yeah, like it's more like a distance training, right? So he'll text me and we'll talk about it. I love Kevin Holland. He's so fun, got such a great personality. But Shabazian is a great kid, and he works hard. He's in the gym every day. Rhonda came to see me in San Jose for something we did together, a project. And she goes, I want to send little Ed up to San Jose. I go, you call him Little Ed. I was like, he's not little. And she goes, yeah. And she said, he's going to come for months. He's not going home. He lives in a hotel close to the gym, and he is just grinding it out. And the dude is impressive, man. And I think he'll be better the next time you guys see Edmund. Because what he did at Glendale Fight Club with his coaches, and then you couple what they do with the help that he's getting at AKA, he's going to be tough.
Thanks, man.
DC if you're Chris Montigno's coach, he takes his fight against Sean O'Malley on such short notice. He said he just quit his full-time job in June. How do you prepare for him? How do you prepare him to go from regional circuit, 80 hours a week at a paint company, to now fighting Sean O'Malley on the opener of a Conor McGregor card?
I think you just tell Chris, without telling Chris, throw caution to the wind and do what you do. Because it's a win-win situation. But the moment you tell Chris, it's a no-lose situation, you give him an out, right? So you tell him that without giving him the out and saying, hey, you can change your life. We saw it. Brandon Royval. Remember Brandon Royval came in here on like in the Apex, 7 days notice against Tim Elliott, right? Kid was working at a juvenile detention center, beats Tim Elliott, and next thing you know, he's got a number by his name, wins another fight in the #1 contenders fight. That's how quickly you can change your life if you're Chris Moutinho. So that's what I tell him as his coach. Be prepared to shock the world and go do what we know you're capable of doing. But don't give yourself that out. Like, I think fighters do that too much. Well, it's a no-lose situation for me. So then you lose. It can't be a no-lose situation. Every fight's a win. You have to win.
Do you think the co-main event is flying under the radar a little bit between Stephen Thompson and Gilbert Burns?
I think every fight's flying under the radar because of Conor, right? Like, I mean, when it's such a massive difference in what the city feels like when he fights, or anywhere. I mean, from fight 1 in Abu Dhabi to fight 3, I don't know who was there. I know he was there, but like, you were there. The fans in the arena, the excitement, the energy, it was just completely different because of who Conor McGregor is. And now you got a guy that beat him last time. Everything's flying under the radar, but this is a fantastic fight. And I know that those guys will deliver fireworks.
Finally, what do you make of this whole drama with the heavyweight division right now, with the introduction of the interim title only 3 months after Francis Ngannou won?
You know, when it comes to Conor McGregor versus Dustin Poirier, pay-per-view, no title. Conor McGregor versus Dustin Poirier, pay-per-view with no title. But outside of that, since we've gone to ESPN, every fight that headlines a card has a title. It's just the way it works. Hell, we made a title. They made a title at the BMF. They made one to go to Madison Square Garden a couple years ago. So it's like, that interim title is essentially a #1 contenders fight. It doesn't change much. That doesn't hurt Francis's accomplishments. I understand. People are like, why an interim title? I just think that it's still a #1 contenders fight to see who fights Francis next. That's how I feel. I mean, I don't know what the decision-making behind it was, but it's just a #1 contenders fight. Interim champion will fight the champ. But I mean, even for every one of you, right? When that poster comes out, there'll be 2 belts, right? It'll seem like champion versus champion, and you'll be more excited because if Cyril Gane wins, if Cyril Gane can beat this Derek Lewis, being from Francis's old camp, the coach building up another prospect to knock off the guy that left him. I mean, look at the story. We can write a movie about stuff like this, right? It's like it just makes sense in that regard. It doesn't take away from what Francis accomplished. He's the heavyweight champion of the world. Nobody should lose sight of that. He's the baddest man on the planet.
Hold on, one quickly. You said that pay-per-view you normally have the title at the top of the card. Amanda Nunes and Juliana Pena was on that card already. Do you think it was just a matter of they wanted Derek Lewis on the top
Derek
in
Lewis in Houston, right? You're going to sell out the arena. Derek Lewis is a guy that people like to watch. You know, I know it. I fought him. And when I fought him, I could feel the excitement in New York City, right? So, and it was only 3 weeks. And I could see people were excited about the Black Beast. So, yeah, title fight, Derek Lewis in Houston, it all works.
DC to your right.
Yes.
Back here.
In the back?
What's going on?
What's up, buddy?
So you've been on in a feud before where the rivalry is very heated. We've seen fighters manufacture hate towards another fighter to gas themselves up. And when somebody's not engaging, it gets really difficult. Do you see that in Conor, that he's kind of manufacturing disgust of Dustin Poirier to maybe find a familiarity in how he fights?
I honestly don't think it matters that much. I think that's one of the more overstated things in the whole build-up to this fight. Nice Conor versus angry Conor. How much different is Conor going to fight? He's going to fight. When he gets in the octagon, he's going to fight to the best of his ability, whether he's mad or whether he's happy. I did not like the build-up to the last fight. I don't need to see these guys Conor holding his hot sauce and him holding Conor's liquor. I don't need it. This is more fun, but I truly believe that ultimately it's going to come down to who is better on the night of the fight. So manufacturing hate, being angry, being happy, liking the guy, doesn't matter. I love Dan Henderson. I would have ripped his head off if I could. I hated John Jones. If I could have won, I damn sure would have won. You know, it's like, it doesn't really matter. You're going to fight to the best of your ability whenever you get in there.
What are your thoughts on Sean O'Malley? Because it seems like he's a highly marketable fighter. He goes viral with his knockouts, and it seems like he has something that a lot of other fighters do not.
He's got it. He's got it. Like, people tune in for him. They like him. And because of that, if he gets past Chris Moutinho, he'll get a big-name fighter, and his path to the elite of the division will be a bit shorter. Because ultimately, this is not only about the fight. It's about the business. And it seems like there's business in Sean O'Malley, right? People like him. People tune in. And he's got a great style for fans to really kind of latch onto.
Daniel, one hates to bring up a sore subject, but it's the Olympics time again.
Yes, yes.
Now, I remember a few years back when you and I talked about it.
Well, you look a little different now. I mean, wow.
Time has passed.
I mean, I was like, wait a minute. He looks familiar. You got a little beard going. Look at my man, Ben.
Neither one of us are light heavyweights anymore.
No, we are. We are definitely not light heavyweights. What's up, Ben?
But I remember when we talked about it before you'd become, UFC champion.
I literally thought you were John Vellante sitting back there a little bit. When I first looked over, I go, what the hell is Vellante doing in here?
I'll take it.
That's my man, Ben, over here. What's up, Ben?
I'll take it gladly. Back to my question.
Okay, get on task. Sorry, I'm drunk. I'm drunk, sorry.
When we would talk about it, and I remember we were at dinner with some of the AKA guys, and Luke was needling you about the Olympics and the weight cut stuff and everything, and you were saying, man, that stuff still bothers me. And I wonder now, now that you've gone on and accomplished a whole lot of other stuff in MMA, and you've gotten more time and perspective on some of that Olympic stuff, when you see everybody ramping up every time it's Olympics time and you think back on it, do you still feel bothered by it, or do you have a different perspective on it now?
No, still bothers me. It'll be with me till I'm gone, right? Not getting to wrestle in the Olympic Games. That'll never change, right? I made a lot of mistakes to put myself in a situation where I not only let down myself, but my country, my family, USA Wrestling, Oklahoma State, so many people. So that'll never change, right? But being able to do 205, 6 pounds lighter, show the discipline that I should have had in wrestling, it does really help me deal with it a little bit better. But it's a harsh reminder that I literally just did things wrong to put myself where I was back in Beijing.
Well, do you ever think back on it now and go, well, that was for free, basically?
And I mean, maybe that's what it was, right? Like the difference in the compensation between the UFC. I mean, listen, for some of the checks the UFC gave me, I would have done anything. I would have done a lot of things to get to the weight. So, and I have done a lot of things to get to the weight. I'm thinking about it. But I should have had more pride in the accomplishment. And I think that I took it for granted. And as a young man, I made a mistake. And I can only try to do better every single day going forward to ensure that I help a kid or another wrestler not make the same mistakes.
Thank you.
Daniel, over here on your right.
Yes.
So just 11 months ago, in the room right next to us,
Yeah.
you had your last ever fight. Standing
Yes.
here now, does it feel like it's been that long?
Man, listen. 6 years ago, I won my first championship. Time flies so fast. I mean, this guy became me. These two guys right here, Dave and Chris, we became best friends. Like every 3 months we were on a media tour. I mean, I see these guys here now. When I do this, time goes so fast. And the moment I retired, my life got so busy outside of the octagon that I haven't really had a chance to sit back and think back on, oh, it's been a year already. Yeah, it sucks, coming back and not being able to accomplish what you wanted at the end. But it is what it is, and you just kind of move forward. That's what I've always done.
Yeah, and being here at the Apex all the time, and obviously with all your broadcasting duties you have, does it ever give you that itch to come back just a little bit?
To fight?
Yes.
No. Dude, it's hard. Fighting is hard. Like, it's really, really hard. I mean, to be able to compete is so special. I love to compete. It's what made me who I am, but I also understand if I can't put myself in the best position to win, I won't do it. You guys all know me. You've seen me do this thing. I mean, I had no time at the bottom. I was always at the top. Fought in 10 straight championship fights, right? Like, if I can't prepare myself, I won't do it. And I just don't feel like where I am today in terms of the injuries, the wear and tear of the title fights. People talk about 5-round camps versus 3-round camps. They're a real thing. And going through all those 5-round camps back to back and literally breaking myself down to the bare bones to make sure that when I was in there, I was ready. It's such a lasting toll, man. I get up in the morning. I literally stretch every morning for 30 minutes before I can even get up and leave because of 15 years old, I'm in my first world team and represented the United States of America. So for 27 years, I did sports at the highest level, so I'm good.
And last one from me. Before you came out, we talked to your friend Max Holloway and Dean Thomas, and they had some things to say about you, about the weigh-in show.
They're liars.
They say that you're a notorious cheater.
They scandalize my name is what they do.
Is it fair to call Daniel Cormier a cheater?
Yeah. There's a famous saying in regards to cheating while trying to win. I think you guys have all heard it before. If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. I'm trying to win. I roped Laura Sanko, 105-pound woman. She beat me in a spelling bee, which you would imagine. I've lost every single one of them. So I told her if she could outrace me drinking a beer, then she's the champ and I would be the champ. She's like, okay, I'll give you a challenge because you test that ego of anybody, right? They get it. I crushed her. Now I got the belt going into the next weigh-in show. So sure. They also caught me with, we're trying to spell Jalgus, Jalagulis. And I may have been caught with the name sheet under my shoe, under the desk. I mean, I may have been caught with the name sheet under my shoe. But hey, it is what it is, man. I'm trying to get my hand raised.
All right,
Hey, Daniel, in the back.
What about the golf?
In golf?
Yeah.
Where'd that come from? In golf?
Did you guys practice the night before Jacksonville?
Yes, I have practiced. I cheat a lot on the golf course, not so much anymore. I got a golf simulator in my house now, so it makes it easier for me to practice and improve. All right, last one, guys.
Daniel, in the back. You were just saying before that maybe, genuine animosity between fighters won't necessarily impact the outcome, but I wonder...
No. I'm talking about whether or not you're trying to make it, not real, right?
Right.
When it's genuine,
Yeah.
it does affect it, right? Because then you can't control the emotion.
Yeah, can you talk about that? Because I'm also wondering how, to what extent that kind of tension might benefit some fighters over others.
I think for Conor, he wants to have that... he tried to kick Dustin yesterday, right? He wants to have that friction. He kicked Dana. Dana said he got kneed, but he wants to have that friction, right? Because some people do better in the chaos, but real emotion can really hinder you. And that happened to me against Jones, right? In the first fight, so emotional, that energy dump. Second fight, the guy beat me. But it's you have to really kind of reel it in to ensure that you don't do too much. But McGregor lives in the chaos in regards to fighting. So this whole build-up has been exactly what he's wanted. You guys, I'm really hurting over here. I got to keep it rolling. I got to go home and get another one. No, I'm just kidding. Stop.
No,
All right?
But yeah,
You're
so
good.
But he's right. He's sort of defining the terms of the engagement in that way, right? And so it's
he is. Well, he's drawing emotion out of Dustin. Dustin isn't the one that's starting the arguments. Dustin isn't the one that's starting the fights, right? But if you pay attention, when Conor grabbed the hot sauce, Poirier about charged him.
Yep.
Right? Then when Conor stood behind the desk on his side, Poirier was held back by Dana White. Now, here's the question, and this is why I'm so excited about the fights, right? We watch everything as analysts, right? So when I go and I watch the press conference yesterday, I'm like, man, this is some antics. So then I go back and I think, wait, this seems like the Khabib press conference, right? I go back and I watch the Khabib press conference, and he's so animated, and he's so mad, and he's so angry, but then he didn't fight well, or as well as he could have fought. So is he taking himself too far in one direction, right? So it's like you're putting all these pieces together, and then you wonder whether or not Dustin, who yesterday did try to charge him a couple times, so then I go back and I watch him and Conor back in 2014 and think, is Dustin mad again? Is Dustin emotional again? So it's like there's so many factors that go into what happens on Saturday night inside the octagon. Dustin came and watched this thing called The Man in the Arena. If you guys haven't seen that thing, Dustin voiced it. Watch it. He almost started crying because The Man in the Arena is about the guy that goes out there and he puts himself on display to be judged, and he should not be judged by people that have not done it. This means so much to Dustin Poirier. Go watch that. Watch that essay that he voiced for the UFC. Watch and listen to the words and watch how he reacts to it. And then watch how those guys engage tomorrow night. Dude, this is the biggest fight of the year. Hands down, there will not be one bigger. And this is going to be so fun. Crowd's going to be crazy. There's going to be beer everywhere, thrown everywhere. Rogan's back, Anik's back. Myself, Stephen A's here. I mean, everybody's mad about that, but why? Stephen A's up in here. I mean, this is the real deal, man. This is not only a fight anymore. It's an event, all right? So everybody strap your boots in, get ready for tomorrow night, and then let's go, all right? Bye, guys.